it's just a very odd mission in general. Because it does get kind of hard because the AI for the piranhas automatically makes them run away, but they do clump up, which is nice. It's much easier to get like a giant clump of them than actually like going after one or two of them. It's just a weird mission. I actually found a lot of the mini games surprisingly fun, especially except for one particular one, which I will say to my grave is the worst mini game in the game, by far. So I don't think at the time that I noticed there being a limit to the amount of fires I can hold. Fires, fuel, whatever you prefer. I can hold 5 fires. Sounds much more cooler than holding five shots. But definitely, you can definitely get screwed over because the fish do move faster than you. So you're gonna have to like try and cut them off, or hope to God they clump up and start knocking each other out of the way. I do have maximum fires, and those 2 left. So that was the first try, which is always a great attempt. So now I have, I think, 3 more flames to shoot off for free. And yeah, that's the key. It's a nice, simple room. It's quick, it's easy. It's much more enjoyable than having to run away from giant snakes that are poisonous and will knock you back and forth like a little bitch, which is so fucking annoying. Speaking of said snake, you can't go through this gate, which is kind of annoying. It means you have to crawl back across the bones, which, as the camera moves, always moves you back, which is really annoying. But speaking of that snake, we do see him again. So the gateway is not how we exit the room, the main room. We use this little pad over here to jump on. Now we unlock the gate. I think we have an extra key. But look who it is! It's our friendly neighborhood venomous snake creature who, for whatever reason, breaks that particular gate. And then yells at us. He's like, "Fear me, all ye gates. Hear me roar." Not sure why he hates gates. Just go with it. He has some personal grudges, okay?
This is some kind of giant voodoo egg beater to stir up that unsanitary mess.
If I could unlock the cauldron's lid, I might be able to thrash their production and build up enough steam pressure to get launched up to Ruby's Skull Temple.
Okay, sounds
That's
like
the
we've
science.
got a plan. To get around that thing, try moving in the shadows made by the masks so that the guards won't see you.
I mean, his science isn't that far off. You know, building pressure up would definitely cause it to expand and fire off the lid. But how the trajectory works out perfectly well with the skull is beyond me. But it's a Sly Cooper we're talking about. He's probably got his shit together. This was another really annoying mission. And you'll see why. Right now.
Oh my God, a green waterfall.
Not with
overflowing
him.
with bones and body parts.
These assholes.
I'm telling you, the health department's going to come down big time on this dump.
So there are 2 particular guards right here. This guy's easier than the last guy. Although, as I say that, I alert him and he starts firing things. Go back to your job. So these guys are very particular. The last guy, he walks back and forth, and you can actually see you if you're on the edge of the bones. So if you're not careful and you walk too close to the edge, you can get spotted, and that will trigger the other guy to start firing at you. If the first guy doesn't shoot you, you cannot actually jump over there. There's a completely convoluted other way that we have to get there, which is one of the more annoying reasons about this level. The majority of it is fine. Oh, that's right. We meet the dry bones of this game. He looks like Dry Bones from Mario, the skeleton dinosaur-looking guy. He essentially even looks like a turtle, so not really helping out your uniqueness here. You pseudo-flaming Dry Bones. But yeah, the majority of this level is not too hard. It's just that one. It's those 2 bosses, not bosses, but creatures. The voodoo monkey things that appear in the game level is just the more annoying part of this. And this spider is really annoying. So this area is pretty cool. It's like several runes separated from a giant, or from planks, right? And you can jump in between all of them. If you jump on the planks, as you'll see, it'll knock off the planks and you won't be able to walk on them. It's sort of like a one-time thing, which is pretty cool. The spiky logs is also dangerous, and there are cameras, which I think makes the room much more harder. And yes, I've noticed the 2 bottles. I wanted to get rid of the cameras in general, so they would stop bothering me. And I think, okay, I don't lose the platforms there. I think I do on the way back. So those 2 bottles, there are 40 in this room. One of the more challenging numbers. I don't think you can ever really jump up that high without breaking those breaking those platforms. At least I can't. So maybe all you Sly Cooper experts out there. I do get the really cool like falling assassination, like it's freaking Assassin's Creed up in here. So this one I can just totally just walk out and beat him up, but apparently I would have come to this section of the room just to do that. Double saves, always nice to pick up 4 bottles in one go. Now things get a little trickier. So I wanted to jump down over there to get the bottles, but then I realized he's down here. And then watch this, he automatically sees me and shoots me in the first go. Ugh. Have we seen any zombies? I mean, I assume that's what the people with the green fireballs are. I assume they're supposed to be zombies. I don't know. If you're gonna direct the Dawn of the Dead, you shouldn't be using undead monkeys who look particularly like monkeys. Miss Ruby can't make zombies. What a noob. She calls herself a necromancer. I always thought necromancers were really cool. That's only if the whole bring the dead back to life wasn't like endangering it, like forcing a soul back into a body, like torturing souls back into zombies. None of that. If they were like, if the zombies are cool with it, you know, then I'd be totally okay with necromancy. If the zombies were cool with it, that's how I see necromancy. If I can voluntarily bring things back from the dead, I would totally do that. I think I die here, or something happens, but I think I should cut away from here. I think I try and jump and I hit, or I fall into the water, and then, that's right, it bounces me, right, I remember this. I tried jumping onto the platform over there, and I hit a spike and it bounced me all the way back there and then died. I was like, motherfucker, and I game over. I game over right there. Ugh. Annoying. This world should be just game over the world. Not not Terror, Voodoo Terror, or whatever the actual title is. It's just, you will game over here. If you're stupid enough to do it, like me, you'll game over. I was kind of worried because I don't do very well with very small platforms walking down, just in general, because I get nervous on small platforms. It's terrifying. I'm afraid of falling.
This must be the source of all the disgusting green soup.
So this room was much easier than it looks, because you see a giant dry bones, and you see some massive security. However, they placed the security in the middle of the room, so that gets rid of that. And the dry bones is pretty easy to get around. And if you fall into the water, I already have water immunity, so it's not a huge deal. Luckily, though, I do have golden horseshoe. I'm just noticing that now. So activate the candle, or deactivate the candle, I guess. And that'll get the drawbridge down. Once you are close enough, by the way, if you're wondering why he was like freaking out, the dry bone just sort of gives up. They're like, no, please, please don't kill Rito. I guess because their attacks are ranged, and since you are up close, they're just like defenseless. That should be the last 4 bottles, right? No, the last 2. The last 2 should be, if I remember correctly, the last 2 should totally be with the vault, right? The vault is like right here on this. Yep, there's the last 2. I was able to get through this area without, or I shouldn't say that.
My righteous analytical ability. The combination has to be 571.
I shouldn't say that I had to go through this room once, because I did completely game over. But I wasn't. If I didn't game over there, it would have been completely fine.
Bending. It's Matthew de la Coupe's perpetual slow motion technique. With this move, you can slow down time whenever you want, not just while jumping. Hold down the triangle button to use it.
So I haven't really found any good use to slowing down anything. I found a use of speed time up, especially when in the later levels when we get a cool ability that I won't spoil. But I really haven't found anything where it's like, oh, I could totally just slow time down. It's totally worth it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. There's probably like someone's like, I slowed down 20 bajillion times in this game and I've completely didn't die. It's like, okay there, buddy. I'm sorry that I'm not as excellent as you. I'll let you do you, boo. And I just missed that mask barely. I do like the idea of the masks like hiding behind them. Although I think it's a complete and utter flaw from Miss Ruby's point of view to have giant masks that you can avoid the spots, the searchlights. So there are 2 missions left. One is a vehicle mission. The other is technically a Sly Cooper mission, but is not like the typical ones. And I think we'll be getting into that one next time. And I do not like that mission at all. This one's pretty fun.
The vehicle seems to be outfitted with some sort of high-energy cannon. Use the left analog stick to move, and aim the right analog stick in the direction you want to shoot. Remember, you can always shoot in one direction while moving in another.
So I think this is the first time we've actually had one of these missions. We are on like a skiff, and we can pretty much, it turns into like a twin shooter, which is actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed these sections. I'm not really sure why. Because usually I don't like twin shooter games because it's like this over the top and you just sort of spin around and you don't really do much in the game. I kind of like the third person behind the view, so you have much more interaction with the game and you feel closer and more involved instead of just like doing that, except seeing a tiny little guy do it. As you can tell, there are spawners, and I'm not very good with twin shooters. Not the best. I get hit there. I do have a golden horseshoe, so it's not terribly terribly painful. There are gates that will take several shots in order to break, but they do drop quite a bit of coins, like 2 or 3 per gate. So you'll see me spend like a lot of times just spending time shooting things. This isn't the last time we'll see these kinds of missions. I think we'll see it again one more time. But I don't know, I kind of enjoyed them. Even though they are just essentially, whatchamacallits, twin stick shooters. That's what I kind of like about this game, is that they don't just have like the basic Sly missions where you run around and you do like this stealth type mission with a couple enemies in the world, but you actually like change it around. There's racing missions, there's stealth missions, there's twin stick shooters, there's Clouds-a-thons, which we'll get into I think next video. And that one they could have kept out and I would have been totally fine with. Having 2 gravestones is always a bitch to deal with. But once you kill one of them, you can just sneak around the side and shoot the other one. They do drop a ton of money in this mission, so if you can pick up a lot of money, you are like looking at 12 bajillion lives. I guess that's why they made this mission, just because of the coin drop. There are a few missions where it feels like they like make a lot of rooms just drop a shit ton of coins for extra lives. But I barely ever get that, so.
Scanner, that flowing soup is really highly charged ectoplasm. It's just got to be the source of power for those headstone generators.
So what I would have loved, if you went, like, if you were going through this game and deactivating, like, headstone generators, so you stop having headstones be a thing during the levels, I would have preferred that, like, having the world be interacted with. So every time you stopped a generator, it would then, like, stop all the zombies and or all the ghosts from appearing in every mission. Which would be a really cool interaction, because then you would feel like you're, like, actually completing the things that they say about. Oh, this part was annoying. Because there's, like, several barriers, and I get stuck there, and yep, there goes one of my horseshoes. Because I didn't completely kill off the other grate, which I probably should have done from far away, because I now have that ability. Now that they granted me this giant gun. There you go, I can get the last guy. Although I'm pretty close to another horseshoe already. That's what I mean by having a ton of coins in this level. Like, every time I've lost a horseshoe, I've pretty much been able to gain that horseshoe back in, like, less than a turn. Less than 5 minutes. And I think we'll be ending with this last mission, or this last stretch of the road. If you notice, there is the key over there. There are, however, a shit ton of ghosts. And there's the other horseshoe. Lots of money is in this world. This is sort of like an apology for all the other missions. It's like, we know you didn't have enough choice to get, you know, all your extra lives and whatever. Just have this mission. I could have spent time trying to get a bunch of extra lives, but I don't. I sort of stick with 5 or 6. Probably not what I'm supposed to do. If I was a better Sly Cooper player, I would have tons of extra lives, but I'm not, so not really too mad about that, though.